Hello, everyone.
It's a Thursday. We're at a different time today because life happens. But wow, what a night last night was for hockey.
Was it hockey or was it wrestling?
Maybe a little bit of both, but I found the math of it all. And in the first 4 minutes and 14 seconds of the game, there was a combined 72 penalty minutes.
Perfect.
And in total in the game, there were 141 penalty minutes.
I love to see that, you know?
I thought, okay, hear me out. I think the way it started was just what had to happen. They had to fight it out.
But it seemed like, to me, a little bit staged. Like they knew they were just going to go out there and pick the fight. Like I kind of wish it was a little more organic. Just a little.
No, I think it had to happen just the way it had to. They had to go out there and get it out of their systems. Not that it ever left their systems yesterday, but they just had to start out and make a point. And then, I mean, probably beneficial that Tom Wilson didn't start on the ice, but then as soon as he came onto the ice, touched the puck, he was also then, yeah. It's fine. It was a weird feeling hockey game for me. I didn't watch the very beginning because I was doing an interview, but I watched it back. But it's just it had some really strange energy.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I had a graduate school commitment, but I just quickly opened Twitter to see what was happening and was like, well, that's that. I didn't even see the fight. I saw 6 Capitals in the penalty box and was like, well, that's going to wrap that up.
I love this image of them all in the penalty box together. I just find it so funny. But
well, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's funny. And then I was like, wait, there's only 5 people on the ice at one time.
We just have a nice little fight going here. It's just, I don't know. I was listening to some commentary on it this morning, and I think what they had to say was very fair, that the way they did it here, the way they matched up was very fair. One of the issues with what Tom Wilson did is he went after someone who was much smaller than him. But the way it happened last night is they kind of squared off and they were fighting comparable people, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just because they fought off against their opposing starter, who's typically comparable in size. Right. Well, and it's funny because no one fought Chara.
Chara started inching back into
hello, and they were like, no.
No. No. And Chara's and skated away. But if he had hit anyone, they would have been down for the count. Chara can just beat up anyone.
That's one thing I miss about being a Bruins fan, is that one sucker punch that just ends that.
Chara's just you're done. Bye.
Oh.
But it's fine. So, but Wilson also, when he left for his 10-minute, he didn't come back.
No, he got hurt.
West with a quote upper body injury, but he's fine.
I was going to say, I wonder if that was just the Capitals being we have to play this hockey game.
Yeah, that's honestly what I think it was. I think made probably the executive decision to not have him go back on the ice, probably allowed for the game to happen. Otherwise, it would have been hundreds on hundreds of penalty minutes.
Well, and also, if your players are going to keep fighting each other, you're at the risk of hurting other players. And although it's not, of course, it's an issue for the Rangers. We don't want guys getting hurt, but it's an issue for the Capitals for their playoff run. If you're going to keep fighting guys, you're going to get hurt. This is not wrestling. I understand that fighting is part of hockey culture, but also you need to preserve yourselves for the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. But in a more positive note of this game, Oshie got a hat trick, which also still sad. It was the day after his father passed, and the team, they wore little helmet stickers that said coach, which is what they would call Oshie's dad. So they wore those in tribute. So it was kind of a special night that on the war night they wore the stickers. TJ Oshie got a hat trick.
Yeah, so he was pretty emotional on the bench. It was pretty hard to see. Obviously, Oshie is a really stand-up guy. He's really, really a great guy in both in the NHL and in DC and in St. Louis, where he was playing prior. So obviously really hard to see his dad go. Really nice to see the Capitals do something good while all of this controversy is stirring around them. And I promise there are other games occurring and that there is other news happening, even though we keep
a lot to talk about in this little moment here. Don't you worry.
So the playoffs.
Yes. So I feel like whenever we have these like potential clinching moments for these teams to get it, it's normally been happening, but last night was not one of those times. Only one of 3 potential playoff clinches happened, which was the Jets in the North.
That pot.
Wait, what?
Stir that pot. Another day for teams to figure that shit out.
So the Jets got it in the North. They had a shutout, which was nice. Nice way to do that. And so that leaves the Canadians in 4th, who should have it, but somehow the Canucks and the Flames are still in the mix.
It's the amount of – I don't know why the Flames are not eliminated yet. It's because they play the Canucks. They only play the Canucks.
5 games. Yeah, they're like 11 games behind the end of their season.
Whatever. The North is – the Canadians are going to the playoffs. That's figured out. In the Central, however, the Predators had a pretty easy road to clinching yesterday, and they didn't do it. So they lost to the Blue Jackets, and the Stars lost again. So the Stars –
the scenarios we talked about when we were like, okay, even if they lose – or no, even if they win, like maybe the Stars it's fine. There'll be a greater gap. But like the Stars literally had this opportunity to close the gap of 4 points to 2 and couldn't do it.
It's so, I mean, the Stars had a pivotal chance here, particularly because they have only 3 games left and the Preds have 2 games left. Like that was a freaking crucial game last night. And of course they lost.
Yeah.
And they don't play tonight.
I'm checking right now. The Dallas Stars, here are the games they have remaining. They have one more tomorrow against Tampa. And then they play the Blackhawks twice on Sunday and Monday. So hear me out. Wait, who are the Predators playing? Where the Preds, their next 2 games are against the Hurricanes. So if the Preds lose both their games to the Hurricanes, totally possible, and the Stars win both their games with, who did I say? The Blackhawks, the Stars could take it. We're not going to know this one until these games are over next Monday.
Your lack of a reaction to my mug was incredible.
Thank you. What was it? Who are you? I can't. Okay, we're moving past that. So it'll be an interesting thing to see what happens in the Central. This may go on a little longer now. But in the West,
it has to end Monday. It has to end Monday. Resolved
yesterday, but it didn't.
Okay, well, we aren't streaming tomorrow because I'm going on vacation, so it will be resolved by the time we stream next.
No, we'll stream Monday. And Monday is their last game. It'll
There's
be resolved.
No way it's going to that. There's no way.
I don't know. But anyway, let's go to the West. The Blues could have clinched, but they lost to the Ducks in a shootout. But they had to have won in regulation anyway. They couldn't have done it in the shootout. They still wouldn't have gotten it. But the Coyotes, who were just behind the Blues like a second ago, have been eliminated. They're out.
Oh, no.
Yep. So, but somehow the Kings are still alive.
Why?
Because I think they have games in hand, I think. Hold on, let me confirm this for me.
No, they don't. They have the same amount of games as the Blues. They both have 5 games left.
No. Games in hand on the Coyotes. That's why the Yotes are out, because they've already played.
Oh, yeah, the Yotes only have 2 games left.
The Blues and the Kings are only at 51.
Correct. The Yotes are at 54.
That's why they're still vital.
What on earth? Okay.
I don't know. Before we get into the rest of last night's scores, I want to do a shout out to my king, Marc-Andre Fleury, who got his 490th win last night. Moving
Is that
into
regular season or overall?
All time. I think it's overall.
He could hit 500 if they make a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Well, I don't think he's done.
What do you mean?
Like, he's not going to be done after the season, I don't think.
No.
So he could always hit it
But
next
I'm just
year.
saying he could do it this season.
Yeah. He could hit it this season for sure. And also because he's playing better than Leonard still. So it's fine. So third place on the NHL all-time wins list right now, behind only 2, which no one's catching Brodeur. It's just not happening, but it's fine. So, but we will be happy with number 3. So congrats to my sir. But let's get down to the actual scores. We've talked about a lot of games. We didn't actually get into the scores of any of them. Capitals beat the Rangers 4-2. Big part of that was the hat trick from TJ Oshie. So that was huge in that game. In Central, we know the Lightning beat the Stars because the Stars can't do anything. That game was 2. The Blue Jackets beat the Predators 4-2, keeping the Preds from clinching there. That's what I'm saying. These bad teams are just keeping this interesting. They are keeping like the rest of us alive. Thank you. See, Stars can't do anything. That's quote me. In the West, Vegas beat the Wild in OT, which I was not confident that was going to happen, but we'll take it for now. The Blues lost to the Ducks 3-2 in the shootout, like we said. Then we have the Sharks who beat the Avalanche. The Avalanche is crumbling.
Like an avalanche. I'm off the wall right now. I'm so sorry.
We're so funny. And then the Kings beat the Yotes 4-2. And then we head to the North. We had the Senators beat the Canadians. Guys, what am I saying about these awful teams who are beating everyone right now? And I love it. Senators beat the Canadians 5-1, and the Jets beat the Flames, which should happen 4-0.
What was that?
What? 5-1.
Fresh tea.
What?
Gary Bettman is trending on Twitter because he fined the New York Rangers $250,000 for speaking out against the Department of Player Safety. It's anarchy, people.
I talked about all the hate. It looked really dangerous. And I was like, woman, shush. And she was like, but I thought that statement was really good. I was like, yeah, it was great, but that's not what you do.
We live in a world of Big Brother. We don't speak when we're not spoken to.
Literally, you just. But wow, that's some tea.
That is some piping hot tea.
That's
wow.
Did you say $250,000?
Correct.
Tweet that right now. Wow. I'm shook.
This is why I can't leave my computer for an hour, people.
Guys, I'm so shook. I can't even explain. I'm over here.
And the Rangers ownership, we didn't even talk about it, fired their president.
Fired for GM and president.
Convenience that it just happened to be because of their shoddy season, but also at the same time as
which I almost feel like was their power move of like, don't give us a fine because we got rid of the problem.
I mean, it was a reason that they could get rid of them, but also like the Rangers aren't entering a rebuild. Like, why are you getting rid of people?
I think, and they're on their way up. Like,
yeah.
They could have almost maybe done it.
They're making me start to like them because they're like,
me too. Which I hate
that.
Okay. Wow.
I'm glad we have a low viewer right now because I'm saying that I'm starting to like the Rangers.
It's also because we're at a different time today, so it's thrown off. But it's fine.
I'm sorry.
Let's look at tonight. Tonight we have 3 games in the East. We have the Penguins taking on the Sabres today, and their last game, which is later the weekend, is also against the Sabres. So hopefully those are 2 games the Penguins can take to really get their position settled in the playoffs, maybe number 1. I don't know. Kind of hoping, but whatever. Anyway, the Bruins will take on the Rangers. So that'll be a conflict for you now. And then the Islanders take on the Devils. The Islanders, another team who I just kind of feel is crumbling. Don't know what's happening with them.
That's true.
Yep. So the Central Division, we have the Hurricanes taking on the Blackhawks. So we'll see what happens there as they prepare to take on later in the week the Preds and the Stars. A little pregame for them. The West has the night off today. And then the North, we have the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens, which I don't think the Canadiens are going to do anything here because the Leafs are doing well. So Canadiens probably won't clinch anything. And the Oilers will take on the Canucks.
This is your second to last game as well.
Who?
You.
Yeah.
Penguins. Sorry, I'm still looking at the East.
Yes, we have 2 games left, both against the Sabres. There are some seasons wrapping up this weekend, guys. So come Monday, Tuesday next week, make sure you're here because we're going to unpack all of it. And we have some exciting things coming up for playoffs that we're also going to start to be able to tell you about.
The Bruin season wraps up on Tuesday, and so I will make my daily plea that if you are a Capital season ticket holder and you don't want your tickets on Tuesday, I am in the market for Bruins tickets on Tuesday in Washington, D.C. because I want to go for my birthday.
I can't drop my Venmo?
Yeah, you can't drop your Venmo. I just want to be able to buy tickets. I will pay for them.
I just want to be able to buy things. Okay, regardless, so much going on. Oh, it's okay. You missed live. That's okay. We will be here every day next week, probably at 12:30. But when we make changes, we put it on our Instagram story. So follow us on Instagram if you want to be able to see when that's happening. We updated that today.
I will be better about tweeting when we go at a different time. I am sorry.
Yeah, Shannon. But anyway, we will be back on Monday because we are off tomorrow. Happy long weekend to us. But a lot of exciting things coming up. We will drop an episode before our next live with a fun interview we did yesterday. And there's a lot coming up. So make sure you are liking, subscribing to the channel, following on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're on it all. Just go find us, and we will catch you guys next week.